Alright folks, welcome back. I do apologize for the long break between videos. Again, my name is Deming Sennett. I'm a lease purchase driver here at CRST. This video is really kind of simple. I apologize for looking so tired and so scruffy, but I have now been out on the road for 2 months. The reason for that, some of you might have realized that freight was really tough between December and the end of January. And when I say tough, I mean tough. So if you were in the hole during that time period, or if you noticed that your pay had dropped off, you're probably not doing anything wrong. I mean, there were ways to make money out there, but freight was just really difficult. Some of our better freight areas, even those had cheap freight in them. It had a lot to do with, unfortunately, the political position that we're in right now in our country. However, the reason I'm making this video is CRST actually did a really good job. If you were part of one of the contractor webinars, they had projected that the freight was going to break open again around the 20th to the 23rd of February, and it's actually done that. Today is March 6th, and yeah, I can honestly tell you the freight has broken open. With the amount of money I made last week, that's a clear indicator of the freight's available. I'm seeing the rates are getting better on the boards. So the money's there to be made. And I'm gonna give you a little bit of a warning right now. Get out there and make that money. I mean, get out there. If you got to extend yourself out, like you like to go home every 3 weeks, stay out an extra week. Make sure you're going home not in the hole. Make sure you are going home and delivering loads before you go home that are going to cover your expenses. This way you can stay out of the hole. It's very important that we try and focus on this right now. Reason being, the next downswing that's projected is going to be June, which is a little odd. But again, given the climate in our country at this time, companies are a little hesitant to produce as much as usual. They're worried about getting stuck with cold or dead stock that they're going to have to hold on to, and if they have to warehouse it and hold on to it, they got to pay taxes on it. Big companies don't want to do that. So between now and June, I'm going to recommend, you don't have to listen to me at all, you can do whatever you want to do. Extend your running times a little bit more. Get that money put back into the bank. When you're making money, manage it correctly. Try and build that savings account up so if it dips off, you've got something to work with. These are tricks that owner-operators are going to do as well. I don't know if they know about the downswing that's projected to come, and that downswing may not come, but it is projected to come our way by June. So get out there, run that freight, get your money put back. I understand, we're seeing drops in profitability. Look, fuel prices are what they are. I've survived 3 of these things where fuel has just gone astronomical. You can survive it, okay? You can get by, you can pay your bills. You just got to work a little smarter instead of harder. With that being said, obviously, as usual, look for the best paying freight that you can. That doesn't mean you got to grab that $10,000 load. Some of those, might look great on the board, but if you're going from Miami to Seattle and it's paying $9 grand, rethink it a little bit. The number looks good, but given the mileage, now you got to calculate in your weight and your fuel. That number might not be so good at the other end. So start looking at your numbers a little more carefully. Do your deductions. per load. In other words, break it down so you can see what you're projected to make, have a good idea for the mileage that you're running, how much fuel you're going to use. Get your math done before you take the loads. This way you're not coming up owing loads. I just ran into a driver today, and unfortunately he had a pretty good load coming all the way back here to Oklahoma City from California, but due to the freight rates and the amount of weight on that load, he's probably going to be $200 negative on that load. So it happens. That said, to be fair to that driver, he was having a lot of trouble getting out of California. He was finding some pretty, I don't even know how to put it politely, just some cheap freight to get out of there. He actually had to sit for an extra day, and this was the better of the loads that he could find. So like I said, do the math before you start taking those loads. Agents and brokers may try and push you to take loads, and by the time you get done doing your math, they may tell you that load's not available. Well, so be it, folks. It's better to miss that load than to put yourself in a position where you're going to be coming in negative on that load. And I'm sure it's happened to some of us. I know it's happened to me before I've taken a load, and that load I was $400 or $500 negative. Granted, there were things that helped facilitate that, such as weather. I got caught and had to sit for almost 2 days because of ice and snow. The load was so light, it was under 20,000. Both states that I had to go through were on restrictions for 20,000 pound loads for 2 days, so I kind of had to eat it on that one. But do the math before you take the loads. June is the next projected downswing. Okay, I don't know particularly why that is. That is just what the business world is saying, okay? This is what CRST is letting us know about. They did a pretty good job figuring out the upswing in February. They were dead on the money with that. And they're projecting a downswing in June. Again, that's got a lot to do with the atmosphere in the country and in the world right now, and I can understand that as a businessman. So between now and June, I would recommend extending your run times. If you're out for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, extend it a week, maybe 10 days. If you're out for a month or two at a time, extend it out another week or two. I mean, I know it's tough and it's hard to be away from our families and our loved ones and our homes, but this is what we got to do to survive this stuff. So that's really all I've got right now, folks. I had one other thought, but I'm just getting old and I'm getting tired, so yeah, I'm starting to keep doing the math. Don't let these brokers and agents push you around. I'll give you a good example. A couple of agents called them for loads, and they had other loads that they wanted pushed first because they were the priority loads for them. And when I said, no, that's not the load I'm looking for. I called you about this one. This is the one I'm looking for. They blatantly just hung up. Now, I can tell you firsthand, and I will tell you face-to-face right now, and if any of these agents see this, this is your warning. I do stop at offices. If I happen to stop at an office and you happen to be one of those agents, quite frankly, we're going to talk. And your tone and your attitude is going to set the tempo, because I'm coming in there pissed off. In a business world, you don't just hang up on somebody unless you're cutting ties with them. So don't hang up on me and then next week call me and ask me to take a load for you, because you're not going to like my answer. And if I see you personally, we're going to deal with it as adults. Well, I may be a little childish about it. I've been known to have temper tantrums, but that's okay, because that's me. And by the way, the VA supports me when I get upset like that. They kind of help me out when I get myself in trouble. So, drivers, stick it out. You can do it. My truck number is 506142. If you've got questions, put them in the comments. I'll be more than happy to try and answer them. If you want to get in touch with me directly, you can call operations, give them your name and your number, and have them give me a call and give me your information. I'll be more than happy to give you a call and talk to you one-on-one. If you happen to run into me at a truck stop or one of our terminals, come on up and talk. We can sit down with a piece of paper, and if you're struggling, we can help you figure out where you're struggling at. I will put a side note out. If they've put a Maven system in your truck, I really don't know what to say other than I'm sorry. It wasn't thought through. In a month, I've had to come in and get this thing worked done on three times, and I'm not the only one. There's quite a few drivers, pretty much everyone I've talked to since I've been here Friday morning, and today is now Sunday. Every driver I've talked to has had issues with the Maven system. Quite frankly, my opinion from a business standpoint, it was a piss poor decision. I'm not knocking CRST for doing it. They were trying something new. I wouldn't have done something like that. I would never put a first generation cloud-based electronic system in a fleet this size. I might have picked 50 trucks or 100 trucks and isolated them to those trucks for 6 months to a year to see how the system functioned. But I definitely wouldn't have slammed it and tried to get it slammed into almost well over 3,000 trucks. I just wouldn't do it. The expense to put it into 3,000 trucks, and then the massive expense that you're dealing with the system failing on us continuously, drivers' downtime, profitability, everything's going to be affected by this. Hopefully they wake up and see it. But our job's to move freight and to do it legally. If the Maven system goes down, real simple, folks. You're required to keep paper logs in your truck anyways. Once you start those paper logs, you have 8 days. So by the 7th day or 6th day, I would recommend getting into a shop, okay? But we do have ways to keep running when the Maven system goes down. So bear with it. Eventually somebody's going to wake up and figure out that OmniTrax will go to a 5G system. There's no way that OmniTrax has been around as long as they've been around, and they are not going to continue to grow with the rest of the industry. So have faith. OmniTrax will go to a 5G system at some point. The reason theirs takes longer is because so many companies in the industry use their system. Anything that, say, Maven is doing right now, or any of these other fly-by-night logging systems, OmniTrax has to do it 10 times larger because they're one of the largest providers in the industry. So a little bit of patience on that, and keep running. Do your numbers before you're actually committing to the loads. If that takes a little bit of time for you, look, better to take that time than to keep coming up in the hole or owing money on it, because right now fuel's a killer, folks. And if you're running West Coast freight, freight's over $5, not freight, but fuel's over $5 a gallon now. Hell, I'm here in Oklahoma City, and it's maintained pretty good prices here for a while, but now even Oklahoma City's up around $4.90, $4.89, $4.88, prices like that. Even Missouri's maintained a very low fuel rate for quite a while, and even they're starting to get up there. So we're going to start feeling it all the way across the country. West Coast freight's the hardest right now because of the fuel prices that we're having to pay over there. With that said, don't be afraid to take it if it's worthwhile to take it. Just make sure you're fueling up before you go in, so you can purchase as little as possible to get back out. Little tactics that you learn along the way. And once you commit to a load, take a look at one of the trucker apps and try and plan out your fueling. One of the things that Prime does, and you can laugh if you want, but it's really not a bad system, where you would just run across country until you hit that quarter of a tank and then refuel and go. Prime has their drivers grabbing 60 gallons here, 80 gallons there, 40 gallons there, fill it up over here. And that's because of the fuel system that they're using. Once they're given a route, it sees the fuel prices all the way across that route. You can do the same thing on the trucker apps, Trucker Path. There's others. Hell, you can even look at Loves and Flying J and TA apps and plan your route out using those. The other thing I'll tell you, don't be afraid of this. If you see a mom and pop shop that takes com data and it is more than 20 cents cheaper than the big chain facility across the street, okay, and I mean if it's 20 cents cheaper, okay, hell, I found a place in Texas that was 35 cents cheaper than the big chain across the street. Get your fuel there, okay? Our fuel discount, I mean, it's there, but, you know, if it's $4.05 at the Loves, and I can get it for, you know, $4.83 across the street at a mom and pop place that takes com data, I'm getting it there. Let's face it, once you put that fuel discount in place, $4.05 all of a sudden becomes $3.98, $3.88. So I just saved myself 5 cents a gallon on the $3.83. So, you know, work the numbers. If you're not good with math, use that calculator. But work the numbers before you take these loads. Okay? You can look at the mileage on the load. A lot of times you can look at the weight. Some of the agents don't give you the accurate weights. I know some of them a lot of them like to just put 48,000 pounds. Well, it's not always the case. Just because it says it's 48,000 on the load board, call the agent and double check. Okay? I've pulled a lot of 42 and 41,000 pound loads that were listed for 48. That's just laziness on the agent's part. And yes, CRST is backing them up. I've called them and talked to them about it, and they try and tell me, which is really stupid because I own a brokering firm, that the agents don't know that information. That's a falsehood. Okay, every shipper knows the approximate weight of the load they're shipping. They know the cubic footage of every load they're shipping. It's a requirement to fill out a bill of lading, by the way, so they know. Agents just aren't getting the information. And if they're not getting it, it's because they're not asking the right questions or making an extra phone call. So, sorry about that, folks. These are things that I'm going to continue to hammer on these people on. And I don't care if they want to fire me or don't like what I say, that's fine. I was looking for a job when I came here. I'll find another one just as easily. Not that I plan on going anywhere, but as you can tell, I've got a big mouth and I don't care who I piss off. Facts are facts, truth is truth, and that's all I'm going to give you. So again, I can't emphasize it enough. Do the numbers on the loads before you commit to them. Okay? Look at it on the load board. Run your numbers. You can see how much, what the mileage is, so you can kind of estimate your fuel costs. You may have to, you know, estimate the fuel cost. But once you estimate your fuel cost, keep it as close to that estimation as possible. I've run into situations where, you know, I start the load and it's 65 degrees. By the time I get to the other end, I calculated my fuel and, oh, well, crap, I've had to idle for the last 2 nights. Now I got to pick up a little more fuel, okay? So it might not hurt to overestimate by 50 gallons or so to make sure you've got some fuel to idle with in the cold weather. But estimate that fuel cost. Break the load down, you know. Line haul minus either 70 or 75%, depends. If you got a DM or a driver manager, line haul by 70%, okay? You're going to get 70% of that line haul. You're going to get 100% of the fuel charge and any additionals like tarping or additional stops. If you don't have a driver manager, it's the line haul multiplied by 75%, and then your fuel surcharge and your additionals should come to you as 100%. So do the math. Look at the mileage, calculate your fuel, look at the line haul, look at your fuel surcharge and any additionals, do all the math on that. Do your deductions. If you know you're going to be running a load and dropping it on a Monday, well, hell, you know you're not getting paid till Tuesday, so make sure you take your fixed expenses out of that, plus the fuel, okay? Talked to a couple of guys, and they were trying to tell me, I was down in Georgia, and they were trying to tell me that they got robbed on their load. No, it just, they delivered it on a Friday, one guy delivered on Monday, and they neglected to think about the fixed expenses. So, do your math, and you know, if the load just doesn't look like it's going to be profitable for you, find another load, folks. Admittedly, you may be running into a dead area, and if you're not sure where the dead areas are, you will learn them as you go. But you know, sorry, that's just kind of a learn as you go thing. Some drivers, if you happen to talk to drivers at truck stops, some can tell you where the better freight is at. Hell, head that way. We've got loads over there, probably, more than likely. Don't be afraid to go out and get, you know, another load board on your phone or on your iPad. We can use truckstop.com. We can use what is it? Load 123 load. We can use that. Granted, some of them you've got to pay for. But you take one load with it, that gets you out of a dead area, because we don't have freight there, but you can find it on truckstop.com or DAT or whatever else. It just paid for itself. Okay, so don't be afraid to use those other load boards. But if you're going to use the other load boards, make sure you're keeping up with the approved and disapproved brokers list. In order to pull a load off those other boards, anything other than the Malone board, it has to be with an approved broker. You've also got to find an agent or somebody at CRST that is willing to build that load into the CRST system. These are all tricks that are going to help you get by. I mean, you may take a great paying load up into what CRST considers a dead zone. Well, truckstop.com or DAT or one of those will probably have a load out of there. It may not be paying the best, but it'll get you out of that dead zone. Cut down on that deadhead. Right now, deadhead is just that. It's a killer, man. I know you're running empty, and we think we're saving fuel, but we're still burning fuel. And fuel is, at the end of the day, 33% of what our profitability is decided by our fuel. It's just that simple. So, do the math, stick with it. You know, there's money to be made, particularly right now. Between now and June, make sure you are trying to extend your time out. No, this isn't a hurrah deal for CRST, and I'm trying to get you to work harder for them. I'm trying to get you to work harder for you, so you've got the money in the bank if things dip off again in June. Okay, manage your money, manage your time, manage your fuel. Okay. Other than that, all I can say is God bless, folks. Keep the shiny side up, and please stay safe out there. You know, traffic is not getting any better. Four-wheelers are not getting any smarter, and social media is not getting any smarter when it comes to drivers either. I mean, if you're looking at social media, TikTok and other things, they're really, they don't understand what we do. If you're new to this, I'm going to tell you right now, not only is truck driving a career, it's also a lifestyle. So we do things a little different than everybody else. I guess that makes us odd ducks. I don't know. But stay safe. If you have any questions, put them in the comments. Other than that, if you really need to get in touch with me, you can call operations. Make sure you call the flatbed. You can even call safety or somebody. Reach out to somebody. I hate dropping his name because he gets so many phone calls. But you know, give Joey Malone a call, or give Darren a call. Both retention people. You can give Casey a call. She's in retention too, and just let them know you need to get in touch with me. Give me your personal information. They can pass it on to me, and I can give you a call. I'm damn sure not putting my personal number out over these videos. Too many maniacs out there, and then I gotta hurt somebody or shoot somebody, and I don't want to get in trouble for that shit. So, God bless you all. Stay safe out there. And again, I apologize for being so wore out and tired, but been working hard to get the bills paid, and I'm sure the rest of you are doing the same. If you're having trouble with that, reach out to somebody at CRST and get some help. Whether it's me or somebody at corporate, get the help. Don't just walk away. You can do this. You can stick it out. Okay? I've survived 3 of these. Well, this would be my 3rd one with these insane fuel prices. I've been doing this that long. It's not the first time it's happened. It won't be the last. We can get through it. Okay? And the tougher it gets, remember, you've got people dropping off all the time. You've got companies dropping freight all the time. That means there's more opportunities for us as well. We just got to work smarter, not harder. All right, folks, so you all have a good evening, and I will try and get back to doing these once a week. I'm just really not sure of what information you folks are looking for. If there's anything you think I should be putting these videos out about, send your questions in, send your requests. I'll put something together for you, maybe a short 5-minute video, or I can tie a couple of them together and get you all some answers. I've seen some good questions coming through. I appreciate that. If you run across these videos and you're all about hate, just trying to slam CRST and all that, I'm not going to waste time with your comments. You're just a waste of time for me and everybody else trying to feel better about yourself. And I'll tell you firsthand, if you've never worked here and you're talking bad about it, you're full of shit and don't know what you're talking about. And if you have worked here and you're talking about it, you just didn't know what you were doing. And look, put your big boy panties on, deal with it, and move on. I'm done with my grumpy bitching. So, y'all have a good evening, and I will talk to you by next Sunday. I'll try and get another video out. Take care.